figure I'd do this live because I really don't have the time to edit. But what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Desert Eagle, man. I'm back at you with another video. In case y'all haven't seen this already, cheers. Cheers at 4 in the morning. But I figure I'd get this out the way. What's going on, everybody that's joining right now? I don't want to get too distracted right now because, I want to get this out the way. Eagles versus Saints. You know what? Let me start this off by giving a major shout out to Simus, diehard Cowboys fans. And you know what? I seen his video. He had a lot of great points. It was like a very humble speech. And it was like, to cut the long term short, it doesn't matter what we can say, how big of the trash talk is. None of that's going to matter this Sunday. There's that. And for those that don't know, for those that has me as a friend on Facebook, I'm pretty sure y'all know what's been going on lately, Ever since I posted that picture, of my of my little kid, it was one of those scams. I'm new when it comes to this kind of stuff. I am going to be a father soon. So I've been morely focused on that. I've been very active, I watch other people's YouTube, but whatever. It's pretty much going to be like that probably from here on out, especially in the off season. But anyway, it's not really about that. I wanted to keep the news on social media, I'd rather this YouTube be about, sports or whatever. But anyway, this is going to be a regular talk or whatever, unless you prefer, whatever happens, we can kick it up a notch. But let's just get this out the way. Eagles and Saints, divisional round game. I have no problem admitting this. Excuse me. It's going to be a really, really tough game. Another one. Let's just say that. We went against the Chicago Bears. #1 defense. Not so good of an offense. We managed to overcome their defense, which is crazy. But we overcame it. Now coming to New Orleans, instead of going against instead of it being a defensive problem, now it's going to be an offense. I don't think their defense is anywhere near of a level. Nowhere near of a level of the Chicago Bears. But their offense, on the other hand, is going to be the problem. Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram, Michael Thomas, and whoever else they have, on the team. But I came across, I'm sorry, not came across, but I was watching, the highlights on week 11. And I know from here on out, the Saints fans, these annoying-ass Saints fans are going to jump in the comments and spam this little old 48-7 and talk about excuses or whatever. I know Feed Zeke is watching right now. Shout out to you. I saw you talking your shit during that live stream. But I'm pretty much going to point out the issues and why this team is nowhere near the same as week 11. So if you really think that it's going to be the exact same Eagles as you saw in week 11, then you're pretty much going to be very disappointed. But then again, when you're talking to Saints fans, they're not really trying to hear that, of course. But it's funny how certain other fan bases, I'm not going to say within the own division, but the fan bases out there, of course the media actually pointed out there that we were fucked with injuries. But if you're dealing with a Saints fan, don't even bother explaining that to them. It's pretty much like talking to a brick wall at this point. They're treating that like they won the Super Bowl. That's pretty much how it is. JP, oh, we're going to the Super Bowl. 44 the legendary. Cocky as ever until they lost to the Cowboys. Even if it took a team like them to bring their asses back to reality, I haven't seen their fans all like that since, to be honest with you. Of course, they had gone to the playoffs, whatever. But anyway, let's pretty much talk about what happened in week 11 and how the fuck did we give up 48 points to this team. Yes, they were the #1 seed. They were 8-1. We were 4-6. We were pretty much, I believe, coming off a loss against the Cowboys. It was all around a clusterfuck going on around that time. And it's crazy how, ever since that situation, then after we got swept by the Cowboys, You know, Carson Wentz all of a sudden was reported out, and, you know, Nick Foles stepped in, and all of a sudden, we look almost as equivalent as the defending Super Bowl champions of last year. But let's talk about the issues from Week 11. Well, first things first, well, we all know why. Well, the number one reason besides Carson Wentz playing really bad, it was reported that he had a fractured back that whole time. Hence is why he didn't look so good. He didn't look so accurate. He couldn't run. But he as long as he was on the field, that's exactly what happened. Despite the fact that, I mean, well, then again, he did put up some good numbers, but still, he was not the guy we knew. You know, he still didn't look so good or whatever. But our biggest issue, why the fuck we lost that game, why we got blown the fuck out, was obviously our defense. We gave up 546 total yards to the Saints. 373 was passing, and 173 was rushing. I believe Mark Ingram pretty much ran all over us, and then it was Alvin Kamara, you know, whatever. Screw both of them, by the way. They talk too damn much, but I will address them soon. And yes, in case you're wondering, I am looking down because it's a little torn up right now. I know it's fucked up, but I was kind of doing my homework as I was watching the you know, as I was watching the highlights. I tried my best to see the whole thing. But anyway, so we gave up 546 yards to the Saints. And to be honest with you, as good as their offense is, you would think they will rack up a lot more than 546. Because we had the secondary we saw then is not even playing on this team right now. You know, by saying that, well, let me name a couple people on this, that I'm gonna say at least the line that was playing then, that's playing right now. Fletcher Cox was playing, Chris Long was playing, Jordan Hicks was playing, Michael Bennett was playing, Brandon Graham was playing. That was our line right there. And who also played then was Sidney Jones. Well, we haven't seen since. He's hurt. Avonte Maddox. He didn't play the entire game. I'd probably say like the first half of it, and then he ended up getting hurt. You know, we was actually bombarded with injuries during that game. It was bad. I can't even name who all was out at the time. But during that time, you know, we actually had 13, was it 13? I'm gonna say over 10 different corners for the past couple weeks starting, which is like the most in the NFL. It was bad. Our defense was suffering the most pretty much. And going against the Saints in week 11 was pretty much, we was pretty much there at the wrong, how do you say? We was pretty much at the wrong place at the wrong time because the Saints was on fire. You know, their offense was dominant, you know, and they are one of the toughest teams in New Orleans. And us going over there with we weren't even prepared on our defense. It was bound to happen. It was to the point I knew we was going to lose that game. I picked the Saints to win that game because of that situation. We were just bombarded with injuries, and the Saints were just one of those teams that we just couldn't stand up to. But this Sunday, I don't feel the same way like I did in week 11. I actually feel 10 times more confident because majority of our players are back, but I'll talk about that soon. But I just named the people that was starting. But right now, I'm going to name the secondaries that played that game. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know who the hell these guys are. Chandler Sullivan, Devontae Ballsby, T.Y. McGill, he was a defensive lineman. Corey Graham, I would say I know him the most out of these guys I'm listing. I don't even know if he's still playing, if he's back on the practice squad. I don't freaking know. And DJ Alexander. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know who the hell these guys are. But I will tell you this. When they were playing in week 11, normally when you sign a person, you would expect something about a couple weeks later when they're warming up to the team, when you're building that chemistry, when they're more prepared. They know exactly what they're getting into. But in week 11, we couldn't really say much about that. Because during that time in week 11, when we took those guys in, they didn't really know what the fuck was going on. You know, we were just signing players, whatever, just to cover our guys and just go through or whatever. But the Saints was a nightmare then. You know, we had whatever. But there was no chemistry. There was no preparation. So pretty much, we just had to go through that game. But it turns out to be the worst because we gave up 373 passing and 173 running. You know, it was freaking bad. It was a freaking nightmare. But that was our secondaries then. Chandler Sullivan, Devontae Ballsby, Corey Graham, and DJ Alexander. Avonte Maddox didn't really finish the game. Neither did Sidney Jones. But now let's compare this defense, who's going to play this Sunday. And mind you, majority of those players aren't even on the team, by the way, or didn't play in week 11, by the way. Rasul Douglas is playing. Crevion LeBlanc did play in week 11, but he was another person we just signed, so I forgot to mention him. Avonte Maddox is back, is 100%, and he's actually more warmed up, by the way. You see, like, we actually established some talent in him, by the way. I think I forgot to mention a couple more people. But Rasul Douglas, Crevion LeBlanc, Avonte Maddox, and I got to name that. I can't remember that other one that's playing. But Nigel Bradham is playing. Malcolm Jenkins is playing. And then there's the line I've already mentioned. I guess I didn't name enough people I forgot to mention right there. But I'm going to say this. When Nick Foles jumped in, the defense looks 10 times better. 10 times better since Nick Foles stepped in. But when Carson Wentz was playing, when he played like shit, it's like the line didn't even protect him, unlike you know, Nick Foles coming in. There was no coverage. Well, we could say that because the guys that played then, you know, aren't even on the team right now. But then again, there's the line, you know, there was no pressure from the line or whatever. But it's like, as weeks gone by up to now, this defense is great all of a sudden. Jim Schwartz, he's doing better, you know? I'm just going to say this. The big difference with this team from week 11 to now is our secondaries. And not only that, and Nick Foles as well. It's crazy how when Nick Foles stepped in, this team looks like the defending Super Bowl champs from last year. It's crazy about that. But, and then, of course, you know, we had Carson Wentz playing in week 11. This guy threw 19 for 33. For only 156 yards and 3 interceptions. I would say that was his worst game in his career, or it was 2 years ago against the Bengals would be his worst. I'm probably going to say the Saints because it was bad. Because not only did Carson Wentz, you know, he didn't even score. He had a really shitty game in week 11. He had a shitty game in week 11. And we only put up 7 points to their 48. The 7 points was pretty much the only good thing we could take out of this game was Josh Adams, which could be one of the keys to victory. But I'm going to tell you this, Ash 6, this team is 10 times different. The Saints are... They really think it's going to be the same old 48-7. This team's, they're going to be extremely disappointed. They have a nice little reality check coming to them. They really do. But what I think about the offensive line, I can't remember who asked that. I didn't even see who asked that question. Tyler said, what is my honest opinion about the offensive line? It's crazy how when Nick Foles stepped in, this line is great all of a sudden. Nick Foles has all the time to throw the ball. I mean, well, there are times he is getting pressure, you know, but I'm going to say this. They protected Nick Foles a lot better than they protected Carson Wentz. honestly, I don't like that, to be honest with you, because that kind of tells us that it seems like they have more faith in Nick Foles than they have in Carson Wentz. And I don't like that at all. I really don't like that at all. But this line is great. This guy, the line has what it takes to protect their quarterback. They could last they could protect their quarterback for over minutes if they wanted to. Nick Foles could play his PS4 behind the offensive line if he wanted to. But why can't Carson Wentz do that? It's beyond me. Why can't he do that for Carson Wentz? I mean, it's beyond me. I don't know. But now that answers that question. Let me do my little keys to victory / or takeaways from week 11, what we can, whatever. Let's just do that. Mine's going to be a little different, by the way. Then we're going to address a certain someone. So start this off. How can the Eagles win this game? First and foremost, stop the run game. When I say stop the run game, we got to shut down Mark Ingram. I'm going to say Mark Ingram rather than over Alvin Kamara, because when Mark Ingram runs the ball, we did a terrible job in tackling. We did a terrible job in tackling. It being though that, yeah, we gave up 173 in rushing yards. Mark Ingram hit 2 touchdowns on us. And we just did a piss poor job in tackling. It was bad. It was really bad. And feed Zeke, I would love to see you on the NFC Championship too. But except I'm not going to root for y'all. And I'm worried about the Saints right now. But stop the run game, man. I would say focus more on Mark Ingram, because we did a really terrible job in tackling the guy. He ran all over our asses and dropped 2 touchdowns on him. Alvin Kamara, I would say stop him as far as screens, because he's like a Darius Rose Jr. He's like a third down back, or, when he catches the ball, he's their second best wide receiver pretty much. He's like their second best wide receiver. And their first, of course, would be Michael Thomas, but Alvin Kamara, who's a running back, has the second most, if I'm correct, I think he has the second most receivers. But that's one way how to do it. Second keys to beating the Saints, I just said it. Contain their wide receivers. Contain Alvin Kamara. When I say stop the run game, that was stop Mark Ingram. Stop the wide receivers is we got to contain Michael Thomas, because he had a big game as well. And that other guy, what's his name? Saquon Smith or Joquan Smith, whatever his name is. He had a big game as well. Alvin Kamara. And what pissed me off the most about Alvin Kamara is that he torched our secondaries, our practice squad secondaries, on a 4th and 7. I don't know how many yards he had receiving wise, but he said can Avonte Maddox contain Michael Thomas? Depends. Michael Thomas is a great wide receiver. Is Avonte Maddox sticking Michael Thomas? I really don't know. I feel like Avonte Maddox can keep up with Michael Thomas, but I think he has what it takes to catch interceptions, but he always drops it. We can't do that this game. We can't do that this game. But I feel like he can contain Michael Thomas, but you got to watch out for the double moves. I mean, has he fixed the double moves? He's slowly but surely improving, pretty much. So when you look at the Saints' schedule, who have they really beaten? Plus, look at the Eagles' schedule coming off a Super Bowl. Yeah, you're right, though. I was about to say that, too. The Saints they haven't really faced an elite quarterback. They really haven't faced an elite quarterback. If Carson Wentz was extremely healthy, he would have been the best quarterback they beat. But other than that, since that doesn't seem to be the case, I guess you could probably say Jared Goff, because he was another quarterback that was pretty dominant in the offense. other than that, I don't think they've really beaten anybody. Really, that's great or whatever. The best team they've beaten was the Rams. But whatever. Moving on to the next. The next keys to beating the Saints is demolish their defense. The defense is not on the level of the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears had the #1 defense, hands down the best defense in the NFL, and we managed to get past that. We managed to overcome it. We scored with it. We beat them when it mattered the most as far as a clutch. If we can do that against their defense, we're talking about their secondaries who had a combined of 14 or 15 interceptions. 2 of them was from Nick Foles. And we still managed to overcome that. If we can do that against their defense, we can definitely do that against the Saints defense. But one thing I will say they do have, I believe they do have a pretty good run stop defense. But I feel like we still established something in their weakness as far as their run defense. I feel like because when I saw Josh Adams just run through that line for, what was it, a 25-ish yard TD, I feel like we can do that several times. I feel like we can run right through that line. And let me see. Yeah, I feel like we established something in that weakness. I feel like we can definitely pound through that line and, you know, and score pretty much. I feel like Josh Adams can do it, and definitely Darren Sproles. And if Wendell Small would show up, I think he can definitely do it as well. He had a really big game against the Texans, by the way. But how we can do this, we gotta challenge their defensive line. We gotta challenge it. Offense gotta protect. They gotta open the hole. If they can, that's what she said, my bad, but the offense really gotta show up. If they can really show up, Josh Adams can really do his thing. Him and Darren Sproles, to say the least, can really do their thing. But that's one right there. Now here's going to be the most important key as far as beating the Saints. Defense. Defense. The defense got to show up. The defense got to fire on all cylinders because they failed miserably the last time, you know, week 11. This defense gave up over 500 yards to them. Drew Brees had a big game. Mark Ingram had a big game. Alvin Kamara, you know, he had a good game, whatever. Michael Thomas had a big game. Their wide receivers, period, had a big game. Seriously. Our defense really got to show up. I feel like this game, you know, even though this game may turn out to be a shootout, but if our defense can show up, we can definitely win this game. But it's got to come down to our defense this time. Beforehand, it was our offense, but this time it's our defense. Our defense, I mean, the only thing, yeah, is like what Limitless did say, you know, shout out to him. Shout out to him. But even our defensive line is pretty much the best part we have of this defense. But I feel like our secondaries can definitely do something. But it does start with our defensive linemen pressuring Drew Brees pretty much. What else I was gonna say? The next key to beating them. I already mentioned the run game. I already mentioned all right, next one I'm gonna say. Doug Peterson. Even though Doug Peterson has done a better job, you know, he's converted on 4th downs, you know, executed that. The play calling and everything has been, you know, slightly better or whatnot. But if it's one thing, you know, about Doug Peterson, you got to keep the players in for their, you know, to keep their momentum hot. You notice how back then when Doug Peterson, you know, we were struggling, Doug Peterson, you know, when players were starting to do their thing, he ended up benching them. We can't do that this game. We cannot do stuff like that. And the reason why I say Doug Peterson is another key to win this, you know, we cannot afford to make mistakes. We cannot afford to make mistakes. Seriously, if we make one single mistake, depending on what position it is, for sure, our defense is going to be our biggest concern. Make one mistake, it's a wrap right there. It's a wrap. Doug Peterson's got to show up. I know he runs the offense and everything, but we cannot afford to make, you know, piss poor offensive play calling. We cannot afford to do that. We cannot afford to do that. This team's got to show up, man. And last but not least, even though I just said it, the most important part of this game, every single position, quarterback, offensive lineman, running backs, wide receivers, defensive linemen, cornerbacks, linebackers, safeties, tight ends, coaching, everybody's got to show up this game. The key part, fire on all cylinders for the entire game, 4 quarters. This team's got to focus. We got to show with this mentality that we have revenge on our minds. Revenge. To be honest with you, I know a lot of people's going to say revenge or round. A lot of people's going to say revenge from last time, because we got blown out. We got humiliated. We got demolished. We've got embarrassed. I can totally understand that. But I don't necessarily call this game revenge. Because one, Carson Wentz wasn't playing. Now, when Carson Wentz does play, if he does stay, whatever happens, I don't even want to think about that. But if he does stay next time we go against the Saints, yeah, we can talk about revenge in my opinion. But revenge in my opinion is from 2013. It's from 2013. Yeah, that's when Nick Foles, was playing in the playoffs. It was cold as fuck. It was at the link, and they beat us. Back when we had Deshaun Jackson, back when we had Jason Avant, when we had Lane Johnson was a rookie. I think Zach Ertz was playing. We had D'Amico Ryans. We had Bradley Fletcher's bum ass, Kerry Williams bum ass, Trent Cole, Jason Peters was, he was there back then. And let's not remember this one play. I'm sure Cowboys fans know exactly where I'm about to go from here. But we had Riley Cooper on the team. Now, Eagles fans, I'm pretty sure y'all remember whenever Riley Cooper catches the ball, gets a first down, scores a touchdown. I'm pretty sure y'all remember. I'm gonna let y'all do the honors first. But what's going on, everybody that's commenting? What's going on? I'm pretty sure y'all remember whenever Riley Cooper caught the ball. I'm gonna let an Eagles fan guess. Because I'm pretty sure Cowboys fans are eventually going to catch up to this too. Any Eagles fan though? Anybody? Anybody? Any Eagles fan? Whenever Riley Cooper caught the ball, what happens? Whenever you get a first down. There are times when Riley Cooper dropped the ball, but he had a great year though. I'm talking about when he had a great year. No, y'all don't. So not when he was bad the year after. He got separation. Come on, somebody know? He had like 10 TDs, okay. He had a touchdown, okay, 10 TDs. But what happened when Riley Cooper always caught the ball during that year when he got a first down? What happened? Does anybody remember? I've said it several times already. Nobody. Nobody? He got booed. That was the following offseason. Okay. Oh, I guess nobody knows. So here's what happens whenever Riley Cooper caught the ball. And this is when the Philadelphia Eagles fans originally invented this. We invented this. The Cowboys stole that from us. Yeah, I'm pretty sure y'all know exactly where I'm going at from here on out. Whenever Riley Cooper caught the ball, got a first down, or whatever, Exactly. Whenever Riley Cooper caught the ball, it was Coop. Yeah, that's right, Cowboys fans. Coop. Y'all thought y'all invented that whenever Amari Cooper was doing this thing with the Cowboys. Nah, you took that from us because we did that back in 2013. But yeah, Riley Cooper was pretty much, was another one that was in 2013. And yeah, we could probably say fuck Riley Cooper now. It doesn't really matter at this point because, he's probably working at McDonald's or Wawa or what the fuck ever. I don't fucking know. It doesn't really matter at this point. But the Saints eliminated us. And because of that, I'm going to call that revenge. But what happened in week 11 when the Saints blew us out, when they destroyed us, humiliated us? I called this round 2. And to the Cowboys fans, to some of the Cowboys fans that did root for the Eagles to beat the Bears so that y'all don't have to face the Saints, I understand the Saints are a really great team. But still, I'm still disappointed in y'all, Cowboys fans. I'm disappointed. If y'all want to talk, the fact that y'all want to say that our Super Bowl was a fluke, but y'all were afraid to go against the Saints, the #1 seed. To be recognized as the best, you got to beat the best. And the fact that y'all are afraid to go against the best, I'm ashamed of y'all. You guys have erased all kinds of rights to even judge our Super Bowl. Because we beat the Falcons head on when they were 6-point favorites in our stadium, which is first time in NFL history. We beat the Vikings. That had the #1 defense. Case Keenum had a fire season or whatnot. And we beat the #1, I'm going to say the greatest dynasty in the NFL, in my opinion. And that was the New England Patriots. 5-time Super Bowl champions. And the fact that you had the audacity to call this logo, our Super Bowl, a fluke, when you guys are afraid to go against the Saints, the team that you guys have already beaten in the season, that's a damn shame. I could spend another half hour shaking my damn head. But you know what, Cowboys fans? Not only did you just screw up, the Chicago Bears screwed up, beating the Vikings and letting us into the playoffs. I got to see that, by the way. I got to see that, TTC Savior. But Cowboys, you screwed up letting us play the Saints. Because when we take care of them this Sunday, the only thing that's going to do in the end is give us all sorts of momentum to either play y'all or play the Rams. It's going to give us all types of momentum, being as though the Saints are the #1 team in the NFL right now, in my opinion. The team that is favored to win the Super Bowl. And we're gonna dethrone the motherfuckers this Sunday. And that was pretty, what y'all did there, rooting for a division rival to beat the Bears so that y'all don't have to face the Saints, but we do. You don't get respect winning the Super Bowl by doing shit like that, taking the shortcut. And the Rams, it's kind of likely that even though I kind of see y'all beating the Rams, I just don't think the Rams. I just don't think the Rams are going to win that game. I'm still rooting for the Rams. I would never root for a division rival, especially after y'all gave us a lot of shit in the regular season and before we even won the Super Bowl. But I'm just got to say, I'm disappointed after y'all did that. We're supposed to be, whatever. But shout out to Gustavo. I respect you, I respect y'all. But we go against y'all, that's if y'all beat the Rams. I would love that revenge, by the way. But being as though we're going to be playing the Saints, the best team in the NFL right now, this Sunday, I don't see this game necessarily as revenge, but I see this as a motivation, as a round two, as an opportunity. As an opportunity. I guess I'm going to contradict myself. What the fuck ever. But as an opportunity to face them head on once again. Once again. And this time we're going to show them we are not the same team from week 11. Saints fans, you guys may have, it seemed as though y'all dethroned us. It seems as though our season was over. It seemed that way. It seems though that y'all were going to y'all were going to win the Super Bowl. This was y'all year. But this Sunday, we're going to change that. We are going to get our revenge. We're going to make you guys regret for what y'all did in week 11. Words couldn't explain how I felt in week 11. Words could not explain it. But the fact that you guys are extremely confident, you guys are extremely cocky, show up with that same mentality on Sunday. Show up with that same mentality. Because if you really think that this is the exact same defense, you really think that... If you really think that Chandler Sullivan, Devontae Ballsby, DJ Anderson, whatever the fuck his name is, Corey Graham, if you really think that these guys are playing this Sunday, you're going to be sadly mistaken. Because you guys are in for a rude awakening. Drew Brees. I want to see... I want y'all... Ooh, I can't wait to see this motherfucker. And you Saints and the players and the fucking players that's talking that bullshit. That's talking that bullshit. Calling us fraudulent. Even though the real frauds fell to the Cowboys. But we're going to take care of them. We're going to take care of y'all. And I can't wait this Sunday. You really think that I'm afraid? You really think that I'm afraid of the New Orleans Saints? You are sadly mistaken. You see? You guys had a reason to be feared in week 11. And that was only because our defense was shitty. You know, we didn't have anybody in the secondary. But you know what? See, in week 11, you didn't go against the defending Super Bowl champions. You did not go against the defending Super Bowl champions. No. Yeah, the logo itself may have been the defending Super Bowl champions, but the players themselves, well, I'm gonna say Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was not an MVP in the Super Bowl. Nick Foles was. And that's the guy you're gonna, and Alvin Kamara, since you want to pull excuses out the ass, now you get the opportunity of a lifetime. We're gonna see what you all about at this Sunday. You saying that you was gonna bust our ass last year in the NFC Championship? Well, guess what? We're gonna see what you all about this Sunday. That was not the Super Bowl champs that you faced in week 11. No. This Sunday will be the defending Super Bowl champions you will be facing. No more excuses, Alvin Kamara. None from my end, none from your end. I can sit here and say our defense was trash and that was not the same defense in week 11. Yeah, I will say that. Call excuses on my end. You can sit here and say, you know, when y'all blew that fucking lead to the Minnesota Vikings, when y'all blew that fucking lead, you can pull all the excuses out your ass all you want. But this Sunday, now you got what you want. And we're going to get what we want as well. So we're going to see what the fuck happens. And if you think you're going to drop 48 fucking points on us once again, you're going to be sadly mistaken. You're going to be sadly mistaken. We will deal with your asses. We're going to bring you bitches back to reality. And all you Saints fans that is trolling all up in the comments, keep saying 48-7, 48-7. Oh, we took care of you already in week 11. I hope you show up with that same exact energy when we take care of every last one of you annoying ass motherfuckers this Sunday. Don't go hiding now. Don't go hiding now. And you know what? Like I said before, defense is going to be the biggest key in my opinion. The biggest key containing Drew Brees, tackling Alvin Kamara, and tackling Mark Ingram and containing Alvin Kamara. and Michael Thomas. Challenge their defensive line. Even though they have got a great defensive line, but I feel like if we challenge it, if we can pound it, if the offensive line can protect it, we can definitely run all over their asses. I feel like we can definitely run all over them. Their defense is not anywhere near as good as the Chicago Bears. Not anywhere near as good. But this team has got to fire on all cylinders. Got to fire on all cylinders. Show up. Motivated. Show up. That, you know what? This team even admitted that the Saints have humiliated us. They have kept running the score on them. But if this team is a different team this time, show them why. Show them why. Show them that you want revenge. Let them know we are not the exact same team. And I seen JP's video. I'm not going to waste my time with him. I'm not going to waste my time. It's probably going to be the same old shit. I guess I'll say what I got to say about him. I feel deep down inside we can win this Sunday. We can win this Sunday. The Saints team, at least a good amount of them, are extremely cocky. And I feel like that's also their biggest weakness. That's their biggest weakness. They probably feel like they feel like they're going to blow us out once again. I'm pretty sure they're going to feel the exact same way. They're going to blow us out. They felt the same way with the Cowboys, and the Cowboys exposed that. They got extremely cocky. The Cowboys showed up, and the Saints didn't look the same. I feel like we can do the exact same thing because they feel like they are at home. They already took care of us. They feel like it's going to be the exact same outcome. But this time, this team is different. The defense is 10 times better. Nick Foles is playing this time, not Carson Wentz. I have a great feeling about this game. But you know what? You know what? I have a feeling a huge reality check is going to come. A great feeling this reality check is going to come. But I feel like I'm starting to regurgitate myself over and over again. But anyway, to everybody that's watching, I really appreciate y'all tuning in. To 19 people, give me a thumbs up. It would be greatly appreciated. But Eagles Nation, it's do or die time. It's do or die time. Nick Foles does not plan on giving up. This defense does not plan on repeating the same shit that happened last time. If Saints fans want to really want to think that, oh, they're going to find out the hard way. That this time they are going against the defending Super Bowl champions. Not that sorry-ass flop of a fucking practice squad defense that you saw in Week 11. No. This team is definitely different. I have a bright feeling about this. Let me tell you something. When we went against them in Week 11, even though I did have a hate week on JP, I wasn't confident that we was winning this game. I was just saying whatever. I was fooling around, but I knew we was going to lose that game. I knew we was going to lose that game because we were at the wrong place at the wrong time. But this time is different. This team is different. This team is fired up. This team is motivated. And you know what? Eagles Nation, we're going to do it again. We're going to go all the way. But first things first, we got to get the biggest fucking threat out of the way, and that is the New Orleans Saints. And I feel like we can fucking do it. I don't give a rat's ass how good this team is. I don't give a rat's ass how good this team is. They're just another overhyped fucking team that's in our way. And they're asking to get that shit pushed in. No homo pause, I know. But they're asking for it. They did it to us. Let's return the fucking favor. Let's return the fucking favor. I don't think... maybe this game is probably going to be a shootout. But it's also going to be a close one. I don't see us blowing them out. I just don't see that happening. But even though they're 13-3, even though Drew Brees is undefeated at home, or is he 5-1? Oh, that's right, because they lost to the Giants, right? If I'm correct, I think they lost to the Giants. I think they lost to the Giants. Even though Drew Brees is what? Is he 5-1 or 5-0? Whatever. I don't know. I think he's undefeated at home. But if he's undefeated at home or in the playoffs, I guess he is undefeated at home in the playoffs. Okay. And they blew us the fuck out in Week 11, 48-7. Saints fans, you can spam that shit in all you want. Keep living in week 11 all you want, but none of that shit is going to matter in week 11. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And we're going to prove to you that y'all will be fraudulent. And you Saints fans, you better show up with that same energy after we deal with you motherfuckers. That's all I got to say. I feel like I'm going to just regurgitate myself after that. So with that being said, what's up, King Howie? I just said what I had to say. To everybody that's watching, man, cheers to every last one of y'all, man. Eagles Nation, stand the fuck up, man. The Saints are not the same team the last time. We're damn sure enough ain't the same team either. We will once again be underdogs. And guess what? An underdog is always a hungry dog. So we're going to deal with that. We got this, y'all. We can definitely do this. No matter what these annoying ass Saints fans can say in the comments, they're probably going to go ghost after, you know, Sunday. But I got us upsetting the Saints as well, King Howie TV. Shout out to you, man. Subscribe to him, by the way, diehard Packers fan. But I got us upsetting the Saints. Everybody's guaranteeing the Saints winning or blowing or based off of week 11. Let them think that. Because they said the exact... Yeah, let me say this. To all of you dumbass fucking trolls who obviously does not watch football, or you're just the Eagles hater because you hate seeing us winning. If you was here last week to say the Eagles will go one and done, Khalil Mack will get 5 sacks, or we were going to get blown out by the Bears, or anything negative from last week, if that applies to you, do the world a favor, sit your ass down, and shut the fuck up. Your opinion does not matter at this point. And that's plain and simple. If you don't like it, well, I got 2 words for you. Fuck off. Plain and simple. And that's it. This your boy, That's Your Eagle, checking on out here. It is always fly, Eagles, fly. Oh, and one more thing. JP, I know what you're going to say in your next video. You're probably going to talk about this long hair or whatever, you know, the same old shit. You're probably going to talk about the same old Milli Vanilli or the long wig or whatever. Talking about I look like a female and all this nonsense, or tranny this, tranny that. You know, I don't understand how you have, what makes you think you have the right to call anyone a female when a real female shakes his ass on camera in a room full of men in a hangout. That's what a female does. Also, a female, you know, shows her body, you know, during the Running Man Challenge. Yeah, remember that? Yeah, the Running Man Challenge. You try to show your body. Yeah, you remember that? Yeah. Uh-huh. I'm sure you remember that. I'm sure TTC Savior can also remember that as well. You know, because I like you, JP, I fucks with you. I like your content. You know, you're different, you know. Oh, also, you also claim to pop TTC Savior's cherry. You know, kind of like you were, I don't know, Gabrielle Union popping Dwayne Wade's cherry. You know, shit like that. That's a damn shame. JP looks like a crackhead. I already said he looks like a crackhead Jazz from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I already said he looks like a bag of black jelly beans, those nasty ass fucking jelly beans. You know those black ones? You know, Lord Brunson called him, you know, Tyrone Biggums. You know, the crackhead Dave Chappelle commercial. You know that. You know, JP looked like one of those kind of people. You know how when you go to a party, you know, there's always a group of men, you know, we're in the middle of the dance floor, you know, dancing, you know, trying to get at some women and everything, you know. You know how it is, you know, you get phone numbers and all that shit. You know how it is, right? You know how it goes. You know, shout out to the men that does that, you know, they get phone numbers and shit. JP looked like the type of person that will walk in the middle of the dance floor and be like this. Why everybody dancing, you know, doing the, you know, doing whatever. This motherfucker like this. You know, walking up to a female talking about something, you know. You know. Man, this, you know what? Oh my God. I'm getting weak from this motherfucker, dog. You know what? You know, this is JP. Trying to ask for a number and shit, doing his old entrance and shit, man. I can't make this up, man. Look, JP, come on, dog. Don't do this shit, man. Don't do this bullshit, man. For real. Don't do this shit, bro. This motherfucker, man, the same old fucking shades, man. The same old fucking shirt with his rusty ass on. This motherfucker makes a hate week about the Eagles, but is flapping his arms like a fucking eagle, bro. Come on, dog. Are you really making a hate week, man? We you trying to be a eagle? Come on, bro. Seriously. It's a damn shame, bro. Anyway, let me end this shit right now because I know it's almost 5 o'clock. I gotta call it a night soon, so that about ends my video. Shout out to everybody that's in the stream right now, man. I'm done, bro. A 4-year-old kid could draw a P. That's so true, though. That is so true. That is so true. Or you want to talk about drawing, you know. Just draw a black fucking jelly bean, fucking put shades on it. There you go, you got JP. I don't fucking know. Like, this motherfucker makes Flavor Flav look like he can get any bitch in the world. That motherfucker ugly as hell, dog. Seriously. Seriously. But there's so much to roast JP about, man. But I'm not going to do that to him, though. I'm not going to do that to him. Don't he look like a raisin net? Oh my God, I'm getting a fucking headache, dog. I'm good. I'm good. I'm done. I'm fucking done. I'm done. Let me end this video. I'm fucking done, man. I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done, bro. I'm fucking done. Anyway, I'm about to hit an hour right now, y'all. The roast of JP chat. We should probably do that tomorrow. Make a live stream and just start roasting JP, man. Just put a picture. Probably put a picture right here and just start roasting him. Damn. Damn. Anyway, I'm in this video right now, y'all. Much love to every last one of y'all, man. Eagles Nation, man. We got this game. We got this game. The Saints' weakness will be the biggest downfall because that's the only thing these Saints fans are saying. They're basing this W off of Week 11. Let them think that. Because little did they realize when they were cocky last time against the Cowboys, they exposed that. We can do the exact same thing. They think we're fraudulent. Let's show them. Let's show them otherwise. Let's show them how much of a fraudulent they're going to be. Because all that bullshit that they did in the regular season is not going to matter. Because when we take care of that ass and in the playoffs where it really matters, you know, only one team can end up in the Super Bowl as far as the NFC goes. And that's going to be settled this Sunday. So let the Saints fan be cocky. You know, we're coming off a big W against the Bears, against a good-ass defense. That momentum imagine that momentum. And then we're going to New Orleans. They're coming off a bye week. And I'm pretty sure they're already rested. They're already rusted and everything. They're probably partying nonstop. They were doing all this shit. Just being all kind, just thinking that they're going to win this. But we're going to show up with all the momentum in the world. I got a great feeling about this game. A good feeling about this game. Bears ain't won a playoff game in 18 years, but I will say this. I also call that Bears game a revenge from when they beat us in the fall game. I do call it that. Remember they had a great defense in 1980. Was it 19? It was like 1980 something. 87 or 88. It was one of them. When they beat us out of the playoffs, it was like the fog. Excuse me. It was like a fog bowl or something. I'm trying to remember, but But anyway, I call that a revenge game as well. But the Saints, they got our number as far as the playoffs go. They may have our number. They got our number when it comes to the playoffs. We can change that. We can definitely change that. The records ain't going to mean shit. That score from week 11 isn't going to mean shit. Drew Brees' stat whore ass isn't going to mean shit. The fact that this guy has the most yards in NFL history, and he only has 1 Super Bowl, still tied with Nick Foles. But you know what? For BZ King, you're right. We are trying to repeat. And I feel like we can. If we beat the Saints, we have a great chance of repeating. But then again, don't sleep on the Cowboys. Don't sleep on the Rams or who the fuck. Yeah, we already beat the Rams, but I'm not going to take them lightly. You know, even though the Rams are inexperienced, they got young players and everything. This is their Super Bowl, you know. This is their, how do you say, Super Bowl or bust. I will say that. A Super Bowl or bust. But I have a funny feeling it's not going to end well for them, though. And I feel like, first things first, let's worry about the Saints. The Saints is the biggest threat. Hands down, the biggest threat in the playoffs. Hands down, the biggest threat in the playoffs. Let's take care of that. Let the Saints be heavily favored, because the underdogs will strike again this Sunday. That's it. That's all I got to say. Everybody, I thank y'all for joining in. This your boy, Dave, checking on out here. It is always and forever